"What game are you playing, my child?" the Stellaran asked as he walked to the boy playing in the outdoor sun. Despite his great age, several centuries by human reckoning, suns and moons curse that race. His life form echoed that of his youthful son, an elegant economy of motion evident in every motion. "I'm playing war, father," the boy said with unbridled enthusiasm, wielding his toy sword with an agile grace that the greatest human acrobats would envy. "One day, when I am old enough, I shall join the League of Warriors and make war against the foul humans as you did, father. And this time we shall push them out from the Rimworlds once and for all." At his son's words, the elder Stellaran felt his knees give way underneath him, and a lump catch in his throat as terror's icy hands gripped his heart. "Father?" the younger asked, seeing his father stagger. "What's wrong? Shall I call the—" "Sit down, my son. Would you like me to tell you a story about my days fighting the humans, all those long centuries ago? Before I met your mother, before I had you. A true story, unlike the ones the Grand Council tell." But father, the Council tells of great victories, of valiant actions by our warriors, and great strikes against humans." "They're lies, my dear son," the elder said flatly. Ignoring the look of disbelief on his son's face, he continued, "Lies that I too once believed. The Council tells us that the humans started the war, that their race wished to complete what they started when they drove us, the Durathin and the Uruk, off the homeworld, and they did so by attacking Viceland, Gilia, and Terranil. The Council tells of valiant last stands, heroic actions, and a final assault against the rampaging humans that drove them off our worlds, did they not? I told you, my child, they are lies. In truth, we began the war. Viceland, Gilia, and Terranil were the worlds where we gathered our troops. I, myself, was born on Terranil. You should have seen us, my child, 20,000 of our world's finest, standing arrayed with gleaming armor, protected by the finest force fields, armed with lancer blade and fishing bows. We knew that we would later be joined by 50,000 more warriors from Viceland and Gilia's leagues. Our first and only target was the human world of Lee's world. We mocked the name, mocked the humans' lack of creativity, and we thought it a simple enough matter to throw them off the world and claim it for our own. We had superior technology, and no race travels faster in space, in the sky, or on the ground than we. We landed and struck suddenly, taking the token garrison entirely by surprise. It was a sparsely settled world, and after a week, we had thought the world pacified. We were wrong. The human assault came soon after those 2 months. A massive fleet, yet a fraction of their entire Imperial forces, soon emerged into space above us, and immediately began landing troops. My child, have you seen a human drop army deploying? Ship after ship dropping soldiers on rocket packs, raining armies from above. For so long, our masters have had the techno-sorcery of teleportation. We simply didn't consider humans, with their absolute lack of magic, would resort to such methods to deploy their armies, and while our masters and captains teleported to wherever they were needed most, there were simply too many humans in too many places to fight. Oh yes, that's right, my child. Too many humans. Not even 70,000 warriors could fight them. It sounds unbelievable only to those who have never faced a human army. Tell me, how many soldiers do you think they dropped? No, not 100,000. 200,000? No, my child. Guess again. We would have defeated them even if they landed that many. My child, enough guessing, I'll tell you. They landed over 6 million soldiers on Lee's world that day. How do I know? Let me finish the story. Our army was destroyed the day they landed. Warriors who I had trained alongside and fought side by side for more than 100 years were cut down in a storm of war. The human lasers were so numerous, I saw many of our soldiers obliterated in what seemed to my eyes a wall of light. A single laser would have caused our shields to merely flicker, but 100 would demolish both it and its wearer. Human artillery never stopped thundering, and for each human we killed, it seemed like 100 would take its place. We Stellarin are trained to face enemies in single combat, each of us, but not even the greatest avatar of war can defend all sides at once. The humans don't understand our concept of honourable combat, seeing one-on-one battles between equals as foolish. Instead, they struck at our supply lines, poisoned our food and drink, broadcast loud propaganda at night to disrupt our rest, let loose vermin that carried plagues their bodies could withstand and we could not. And when all of that was done, take pot shots from afar at us with snipers and drones. Only when we were truly weakened did their assaults come. We did not force the humans off our worlds, my son. They forced us off theirs. They proceeded to bomb, then raze Viceland, Gilia, and Terranul, while they ignored our entreaties for peace. They burned the world trees of each world, rendering each world magicless for centuries to come. The valiant struggles by our warriors to chase them off, they were almost all failures. Our only victories came from attacks on isolated supply stations and minor supply line raids. Victories that the Council milked for all they were worth. In the end, only after their appetite for vengeance was settled, did the humans leave. Bought off, yes. Bought off by the Council with techno-sorceress secrets and slaves. Don't believe me? I was held imprisoned after the assault, one of only a few hundred of our forces sent to war. I met your mother in that prison, you know. A galleon. She outranked me, but in there we were all equals. You and she are the only good things that came from that war, and I thank the stars and moons every day that I was so blessed. We were released and walked through the holds of the human transports, so that we could see who we made war with, and the cost of doing so, and thus bring the news back to our worlds. I saw holds brimming with Stellarin treasures, troop transports each carrying more soldiers than the forces we sent to Lee's world. You know how those who boast tend to exaggerate their accomplishments? Our warden, the commander of the human forces, was telling us about the troops he bought, and the number I arrived at, 6 million, was one I came up with after I downgraded his own words. I refused to believe that even among the humans, they could somehow come up with more than 20 million soldiers to bring to a single world. But in any case, my son, dear heart, set your sight on other things beside the humans. Wage war against the Uruk, the Durafin, or the Curtis Dilithidim, or the warrior breeds of the Chong hives. For those wars, those we might win. Anything than those accursed humans. As the hyperdrive carried them along the Star Road, as hyperspace lanes were called, the two green-skinned Uruk sat playing cards with their Durafin co-owner. They were the only crew on the ship, primarily because the finely crafted Durafin ship needed no more crew, and also because any more Uruk would have meant that sooner or later there'd have been a fight.
You know that world? What's name, Melissa? It was one of our worlds once, before the Humies took it. Grog, shut up and deal the cards. Well, I'm just saying, you know. What, can't an Urk say something without you jumping on his back? Shut it and deal, you pansy sprout. I'll show you. Oi, that's right enough I've heard of you two squabbling, the Durafin said. Now, Grog, are you going to deal, or are you and Unga going to start whacking each other over the heads with those clubs of yours? Sorry, boss. Honestly, you two, want to know why the humans managed to take your world? It's because of your inability to discuss anything without getting someone killed. You see the humans doing that. Nay, they fight and bicker amongst themselves to be sure, but at least they know how to pull together when the going's tough. Big words, little boss. Unga laughed maliciously. After all, it's not like the humans took anything of your people's. Oh, wait. Go ahead and laugh it, you two. At least when you buy something Durafin, you're sure of buying something well made, and no made well enough.
Those crazy tall jobs didn't even wait till something's legal before spreading it.
That didn't stop the humans making more money than you lot. How many Durfin-Alls were had to shut down lately?
Do you want to keep working for me or not? The great hive was abuzz, to use a human pun. Queen Mother 49 observed. She was the oldest and wisest of the Queen Mothers, and her station demanded that the strongest of her warrior children brought her to the great hive. Queen Mother 135 had brought a motion to the hive, and while Queen Mother 49 wasn't told of what it was, as per ancient tradition, she had a pretty good idea of what 135 wanted. She didn't know that 135's request was made in the same spirit as a Stellarin child on the other edge of the galaxy, or that she felt the same way as the child's father, but it would not have mattered if she did.
News from our trader spawn have revealed that humanity's greatest strengths are their numbers, 135 screeched in a ritual high speech. The other races are hard-pressed, for though they have superior technology or strength, they simply number fewer, or cannot outproduce the primates. But Queen Mother 49, surely thou can see that their numbers are but a drop in what we can do. I, in concert with my lesser queens, can birth 20 times 1,000 warriors in the time it takes the humans to birth and train 1/10 of that number. I alone could raise an army to take 10 human food wells for our race. Think of what we could all do in concert. A screeching hail of consent greeted 135's words. Even the older queens coloured the blue of consideration, a colour only Queen Mother 49 could see. In fact, she was the only member of her race outside the mindless worker castes to see in colour. It was this ability that gave her her position that had ensured her rise over the centuries over other Queen's Mother, a near mythical ability to see the lies and feelings that her other kin could not. Nobody knew where she'd received the gift. Nobody, outside a select few individuals, knew she even had the power, but all Ch'kan agreed that she wasn't born with it. In her youth, Queen Mother 49 had ventured beyond the stars with her brood, determined to carve a name out for herself. She returned decades later with her brood mostly intact, but the Queen Mother herself had changed. Ever since then, she had led her race, with all those who would challenge her rule outmaneuvered both in the political arena and, in some cases, on the battlefield. And now it was time for her to pay her debt and save her people. Wouldn't thou listen to me, 135, or why I think thy idea is, to couch it in the politest of terms, sheer folly? Queen Mother 49 asked gently. She saw 135's carapace colour the green of fury. 135 was proud. Too proud perhaps, but her words were respectful. Forgive me, Queen Mother, if my words didn't unnerve thee. I wouldn't be willing to hear thine words on why we should not assault the primates. Queen Mother 49 turned the red of satisfaction as she asked a question. Tell me, 135, wouldn't thou accept a human as a Chikon, or a Durfin, or a Stellarin, mayhap an Anilborn Illithidum? What? No, Great Mother, of course not. Worst I did so, thou art most welcome to think me mad, 135 said, her green carapace now spotted with purple and black. The humans would. The humans have, Queen Mother 49 said, calmly. Their soldiers may use basic weapons equal to anything our Shaper caste can spawn, but their super weapons, elite troops and greater war machines are designed and created not by their kin, but Durfin mavericks, unaccepted by their own kin, accepted by the humans. Uruk warriors, hungering not for bloodshed, but the camaraderie of fellow warriors, serve alongside Illithidum warrior sorcerer auxiliaries in human armies, and both often reach high command. Stellarin can be found navigating their most important ships, either because they cannot take the structure of Stellarin society, or because they have found human mates. Impossible! Disgusting! But true, Queen Mother 91. The other races doth speak of the humans' blatant speciesism, but 'tis reality. Humans accept far more of the other races than we theirs.
fight any one race if each of us were alone, but can we outmaneuver Stellari navigators? Can our sorcery compete with Illithidin mastery of the Ninefold Path? Have our warriors suddenly evolved carapaces that can withstand Uruk's strength, or our hives withstand Durathin weapons? For if we wage war on humans, all this we shall surely face, for they are willing to see those are not of their kind as equals, not paid help or mercenaries. Queen Mother 49, that is a risk we must take, 135 said hotly. The farmland on our worlds doth run fallow with a nurse. The rivers run dry. We must take the humans' worlds, or we shall all starve. If Queen Mother 49 could sigh with exasperation, she would. Instead, she just turned a bright pink with black spots. The situation wasn't half as bad as 135 said. Their worlds were more than capable of sustaining them. What she didn't have was that feeling of glory in her carapace, that fire burning within her fluids that told her she was worth something. What 135 had, in fact, was the same desire that Queen Mother 49 had when she was young, and her memories drifted back. She broke off. She had to focus on the here and now. I have considered this question, Queen Mother 135, and though 'twould displease thee, 'tis but the sole island of sanity in the ocean of madness that would descend on us ere we go to war. Queen Mother 49 knew it was not all that intelligent to insult 135, especially with the young queen practically frothing at the mouth, but to hell with that bitch. And what plan is this, Queen Mother 49? 135 asked, the hostility of her ever-bright green carapace colouring her voice slightly now. She was speaking low speech now, too agitated to bother with high speech, and uncaring of the political fallout. More evidence of her youth, Queen Mother 49 realised, mentally taking back her bitch remark. We have them help us, Queen Mother 49 said simply. With human technology aiding them, our workers can harvest food far better than we could ever before. And how are we to do that, Queen Mother 49? 135 asked, if not through its conquest, for the only other way would be to join their alliance. There was silence, and the hive burst into an uproar. Even so, Queen Mother 49 observed with red satisfaction that there were many blues in the chamber. Several hours later, Queen Mother 49 was carried out of the hive, having successfully argued for a trial membership with both sides, Chakan and human, exchanging limited resources for a while, the mutual relationship providing for a closer relationship should the need arise. As her warriors carried her to her bioship, she allowed herself to reminisce of leading her armies off into space, wanting to carve out her own empire, of meeting a human trading fleet and being awed by both the sheer power of the fleet and the diversity of the crew, of trading food, resources, and most importantly, bioengineered compound eyes instead of weapons fire. She lifted one of her clawed arms, the talons at its end currently retracted, of one human, James, helping her adapt to the new, terrifying world of colour, of James, the skilled but poor doctor, giving of his skills generously, without fear or favour. The claw came out, and Queen Mother 49 allowed herself to be lost in the memories the simple gold ring brought back.